Every culture remembers their gods, but not all remember the moment divinity became wrath. In the beginning, before temples rose and mantras echoed through mortal mouths, there was Shiva, the destroyer, the transformer, the god who sits beyond time, wrapped in tiger skin and ash, his throat still blue from the poison that would have unmade creation. He is Mahadeva, the great god, and on his forehead, between brows that have witnessed the birth and death of universes, rests something mortals were never meant to see opened. The third eye. Not an eye of flesh, not an organ that blinks or weeps. This is the eye of Jnana, divine knowledge, absolute perception, the fire of cosmic truth that burns away illusion. When closed, it appears as three horizontal lines of ash, the Tripundra, marking Shiva's forehead like a sealed door to oblivion. Yogis meditate for lifetimes, hoping to awaken even a fraction of its power within themselves. They call it the Ajna chakra, the command center of consciousness, the throne of inner vision. But in Shiva, it is something else entirely. It is the weapon that ends what cannot be killed, the gaze that reduces gods to memory, the flame that purifies creation when creation forgets itself. Mount Kailash rises above the clouds, its peak crowned in eternal snow. Here, in a cave carved by time itself, Shiva sits in meditation. His legs are crossed in Padmasana, the lotus position. His hands rest gently on his knees, fingers curved in the gesture of perfect stillness. The serpent Vasuki coils around his neck, motionless, as if even the king of Nagas dares not disturb this silence. The crescent moon nestles in Shiva's matted locks, and from his hair the Ganges flows, not as a river but as a whisper, a silver thread of divinity descending to nourish the world below. He has been here for centuries, perhaps millennia. Time does not touch him the way it touches mortals, or even other gods. His eyes, his two mortal eyes, are closed, and the third remains sealed, a vertical line of ash and promise, waiting. The rishis say that when Shiva meditates, the universe holds its breath. Creation continues, yes. Children are born, kingdoms rise and fall, stars collapse into themselves, but there is a stillness beneath it all. A cosmic understanding that the destroyer is watching from within his trance. Watching, but not interfering. The dance of Maya, illusion, plays out across the mortal plane, and Shiva allows it, because destruction without purpose is merely chaos. But there are rules, laws woven into the fabric of existence by Brahma, the creator, maintained by Vishnu, the preserver, and enforced, when necessary, by Shiva himself. One of those laws is simple: do not disturb the meditation of Mahadeva. Not because he is petty, not because he craves solitude, but because when Shiva withdraws into himself, he is holding back the fire of dissolution, the cosmic flame that will one day consume everything and return it to the void from which Brahma first dreamed it into being. His meditation is not rest. It is restraint. It is the god of destruction choosing, moment by moment, not to destroy. The third eye sleeps because the world is not yet ready to end. But in the heavens, where God's scheme and karma weaves its intricate web, a plan is taking shape. The Devas are restless. Sati, Shiva's beloved consort, has died, immolated herself in her father's sacrificial fire after Daksha insulted her husband. Her soul has been reborn as Parvati, daughter of the mountain king Himavan, and she has spent lifetimes in devotion, trying to win Shiva's attention once more. But Shiva does not stir. He does not notice her offerings of flowers, her hymns of praise, her presence itself. He is locked in the prison of his own grief, meditating on the void where Sati once stood, and no mortal beauty, no divine plea can reach him. The gods grow desperate. Without Shiva's power, they cannot defeat Tarakasura, the demon who has conquered the heavens with a boon that makes him invincible. invincible to all except a son of Shiva. And Shiva, lost in his trance, will never take another consort, will never father the warrior the cosmos needs. So they turn to the one god foolish enough, vain enough, beautiful enough to attempt the impossible. Kamadeva, the god of desire. If ancient powers still call to you, subscribe. The gods remember those who listen, because what comes next is a tale of divine arrogance, cosmic fire, and the terrible price of awakening what should remain asleep. Kamadeva stands at the edge of Kailash, his bough of sugarcane in hand, his arrows tipped with flowers that bloom with irresistible longing. He is beautiful beyond mortal comprehension, attended by spring itself, by Vasanta, the embodiment of the season of love. Rati, his wife, the goddess of passion, whispers a warning: do not do this. Some gods should not be touched. But Kamadeva is the god of desire, and desire does not listen to reason. He draws his bow. The arrow is called Mohana, the deluder. It has never failed. It has made sages abandon their vows, caused celestial beings to fall from grace, turned the disciplined into the desperate. One shot, one moment. That is all it will take to pierce Shiva's meditation, to flood his heart with longing for Parvati, to awaken him from grief into love. Kamadeva does not see the danger. He sees only his target. He releases the arrow, and on Shiva's forehead, beneath the ash and the stillness, something stirs. The arrow flies true. It cuts through the sacred air of Kailash like a thread of jasmine smoke, winding through the cave where Shiva sits. The arrow does not strike flesh. It does not need to. Mohana is desire made manifest, and desire does not pierce the body. It pierces the soul, the heart, the carefully constructed walls mortals and gods alike build around their deepest longings. For an instant, nothing changes. Shiva remains still, his breath the rhythm of distant oceans, his form carved from the same eternal stone as the mountain itself. The serpent around his neck tightens just slightly, sensing what the god of desire cannot. The violation has been registered. The cosmic order has been disrupted. Then, for the first time in centuries, Shiva's chest rises with a breath that is not meditation. It is irritation. His two mortal eyes open slowly, and they are not the eyes of a man waking from sleep. They are ancient, fathomless. The left eye holds the moon's cool mercy. The right burns with the sun's unforgiving truth. For a moment, he sees Parvati standing at the cave's entrance, her hands folded in prayer, her devotion so pure it would move mountains. And indeed, she is the daughter of mountains. A flicker of something passes through him. Memory, recognition. The ghost of Sati's face superimposed over Parvati's. Two souls, one essence, separated by death and rebirth. And then he feels it. The intrusion. The arrow's invisible corruption threading through his divine consciousness, trying to bend his will toward attraction, toward attachment, toward the very distraction his meditation was meant to transcend. Kamadeva, hidden behind a flowering tree in the spring-blessed grove beyond the cave, smiles. He thinks he has succeeded. He thinks the god of destruction will now rise, take Parvati as his bride, father the son the heavens need, and Kamadeva will be celebrated as the architect of cosmic salvation. He does not see the third eye beginning to open. Shiva's hand moves to his forehead, fingers tracing the horizontal lines of ash. His jaw tightens. The gods watching from their celestial perches feel the temperature of reality itself shift, grow warmer, then hot, then burning. The air around Kailash begins to shimmer, not with heat haze, but with something older, the visible trembling of existence, recognizing its master's anger. Who dares? Shiva's voice is not loud. It does not need to be. It reverberates through every dimension simultaneously, a question that echoes in the bones of every living thing, from the smallest insect in the Himalayan valleys to Brahma himself in his lotus throne. Kamadeva, to his credit, does not hide. Perhaps he cannot. His vanity will not allow it. Or perhaps the arrow he fired has bound him to this moment. Karma's chain pulling tight. He steps forward, bow still in hand, his beauty almost obscene against the austere magnificence of Shiva's realm. "Great Mahadeva," Kamadeva says, and his voice carries the honeyed confidence of one who has never truly failed. "I come at the request of the gods themselves. The universe needs you. Parvati awaits. You have only disturbed that which should not be disturbed." Shiva rises. The movement is slow, deliberate, terrifying in its control. He is not tall, not in the way of giants or titans, but when he stands, the cave seems too small to contain him. Kailash itself seems too small, as if his true form extends beyond the physical into realms where matter becomes thought and thought becomes will. The serpent Vasuki uncoils, sliding to the ground, retreating. The crescent moon in Shiva's hair dims. Even the Ganges flowing from his locks grows silent, its eternal song momentarily suspended. And on his forehead, between his two mortal eyes, the third eye begins to crack open. Not like an eye opening naturally, like a wound splitting, like reality itself tearing to reveal what lies beneath the illusion of form and mercy. Rati, goddess of passion, Kamadeva's wife, materializes beside her husband, her face stricken with a horror that no goddess of love should ever have to know. "Run," she whispers, pulling at his arm. "Beloved, please run." But Kamadeva cannot run. He is frozen, not by fear alone, but by the understanding, too late, always too late, that he has made a mistake of cosmic proportion. He has treated the destroyer as if he were just another god susceptible to desire's games. He has forgotten that Shiva is the one who sits outside the cycle, the one who watches the dance of creation and dissolution with equal detachment, the one whose meditation is the only thing preventing the universe from collapsing back into the void. And he has interrupted that meditation with an arrow meant to create desire in the one being who has transcended it. The third eye is halfway open now, and light is beginning to seep through. Not sunlight, not moonlight, not any light that nurtures or illuminates. This is the light of pralaya, the cosmic dissolution. This is the fire that burned at the beginning, before Brahma dreamed the first dream. This is the unmaking. "I did not wish for this," Shiva says, and there is no anger in his voice now. Only inevitability. Only the sadness of a cosmic law about to enforce itself. "But you have awakened what sleeps in silence. And now, Kamadeva, god of desire, you will learn what happens when desire meets its opposite. The third eye opens fully, and the world learns what it means to burn in the gaze of God. There is no thunder, no dramatic proclamation from the heavens, no cosmic trumpet announcing the moment. There is only light. The third eye of Shiva blazes open, and from its center erupts a beam of fire so pure, so absolute, that calling it fire is almost an insult to its nature. This is not the fire that cooks food or warms bodies on cold nights. This is not even the fire of funeral pyres that releases souls from flesh. This is the fire of samhara, total annihilation, the dissolution of form itself, the return of complexity to simplicity, of existence to void. It is violet-white, tinged with colors that have no names, because human eyes were never meant to perceive them. It does not burn the way earthly flames burn, consuming slowly, leaving ash and ember. This fire erases. It touches matter, and matter remembers. It was never truly solid, never truly permanent, only a temporary dream of atoms pretending to be something more. The beam strikes Kamadeva directly in the chest. For a heartbeat, one final, impossible heartbeat, Kamadeva remains standing. His beautiful face registers not pain, but profound confusion, as if his mind cannot process what is happening to his body. His bow of sugarcane falls from fingers that are already beginning to fade, not into ash, not into dust, but into something less than dust, into the memory of having been. Rati screams. It is a sound no goddess should make, a sound that cracks across the heavens like broken glass, and every being who hears it, from the highest deva to the lowest creature, feels their soul shudder in recognition of absolute loss. Kamadeva, the god of desire, the one whose arrows had toppled the disciplined and conquered the devoted, the embodiment of love and longing and the sweet madness of attraction, begins to disintegrate. It happens slowly enough to be witnessed, quickly enough to be unstoppable. His form wavers like heat shimmer above summer stone. The divine flesh that had been sculpted by Brahma himself to be irresistible, the face that had launched 1,000 celestial romances, the hands that had drawn the bow with such confidence, all of it unmakes. His essence scatters into particles of light that grow dimmer, dimmer, until they are not light at all, just the fading impression of light on the backs of closed eyelids. And then, Kamadeva is gone. Not dead. Death implies a body, a soul that can transition to another realm, be reborn, be mourned over with ritual and fire. Kamadeva is unmade. His physical form has been burned away by the eye of knowledge, leaving only his disembodied essence scattered across creation like morning mist before the sun. He exists now only as Ananga, the bodiless one, desire without form, longing without flesh. The gaze of Shiva's third eye lingers for a moment longer, the beam of cosmic fire slowly fading, pulling back into the vertical slit on his forehead. The eye does not close immediately. It watches. It sees everything. Every particle of Kamadeva's dispersed consciousness, every tear forming in Rati's eyes, every god in every heaven witnessing this moment and understanding the lesson being taught. Do not disturb the meditation of Mahadeva. Do not treat the destroyer as if he were bound by the same rules that govern lesser beings. Do not forget that Shiva's mercy is his closed eye, and his wrath is simply the opening of what has always been there. Rati collapses where her husband stood, her hands grasping at empty air, at the fading particles of light that are all that remains. "Bring him back," she wails, and her voice is not a command, but a plea, the kind of raw, broken prayer that gods are supposed to be immune to, but never truly are. "Please, Lord of Mercy, Mahadeva, bring him back." The gods watching from their celestial realms do not intervene. They cannot. This is cosmic justice, karma's wheel turning with the inevitability of seasons. Indra, king of gods, feels a chill despite the warmth of his golden throne. Brahma, the creator, closes his 4 eyes, unable to witness what his cosmic brother has done to one of his most beautiful creations. Vishnu, the preserver, remains still, knowing that even this destruction serves a purpose he will only understand in hindsight. Parvati, still standing at the cave entrance, has not moved. She watches Shiva with eyes that hold no fear, no judgment, only a depth of understanding that comes from being the feminine counterpart to masculine destruction. She knows what the other gods do not yet grasp, that Shiva's wrath is not cruelty. It is clarity. It is the universe correcting itself when the balance tips too far. Shiva looks at the place where Kamadeva stood, and something flickers across his ageless face. Not regret. Gods of his magnitude do not regret the enforcement of cosmic law, but perhaps recognition. Recognition that the fire in his third eye is not his alone to control. It is the fire of truth, and truth does not negotiate, does not compromise, does not show favoritism. When you are the god who holds dissolution in your forehead, every opening of that eye is both weapon and burden. Shiva's third eye finally begins to close, the vertical slit narrowing, the cosmic fire receding back into the dimension from which it emerged. The ash reforms across his forehead in 3 horizontal lines, the seal restoring itself, the door to annihilation shutting once more. But before it closes completely, Rati's voice rises again, no longer pleading, but questioning with the kind of courage that only those who have lost everything possess. If you are the destroyer, Lord Shiva, then you must also be the restorer. If you contain the fire that ends worlds, you must also contain the compassion that remakes them. My husband acted foolishly, yes, but he acted for love, for Parvati, for you, for the cosmic plan the gods themselves designed. She lifts her tear-stained face, and her eyes meet Shiva's 2 mortal ones, the moon blessed left, the sun burning right. If desire must be bodiless, she whispers, then let me be bodiless with him. But if you have any mercy in you, Mahadeva, any remembrance of your own grief when Sati burned, then please, do not let this be the end. The gods hold their breath, the universe waits, and Shiva, the destroyer, the transformer, the one whose third eye has just demonstrated the absolute power of divine knowledge, feels something he has not felt in centuries of meditation. He feels moved. The silence that follows Rati's plea is not empty. It is full, heavy with the weight of cosmic decisions, thick with the accumulated karma of gods and mortals, dense with the understanding that what happens next will echo through every mythology, every scripture, every whispered prayer for millennia to come. Shiva stands at the mouth of his cave, his form still radiating the residual heat of the third eye's opening. The ash on his forehead gleams faintly, as if the fire beneath has not fully receded but merely paused, a beast returning to sleep but not yet deeply dreaming. His matted locks hang heavy with the Ganges, and for a moment, a single drop of sacred water falls from his hair and strikes the stone at his feet. Where it lands, a small flower blooms, white petals, delicate as prayer. Rati sees it and her breath catches. Parvati, who has remained motionless through the entire terrible sequence, finally moves. She walks forward slowly, not with the hesitant step of a mortal approaching divinity, but with the assured grace of one who knows she belongs in this story, even if she does not yet understand how. She places herself between Rati and Shiva, and when she speaks, her voice carries the strength of mountains, her father's gift, and the softness of first snow. Lord, Parvati says, and the word is not subservient but equal, the way night addresses day. Kamadeva's arrow was foolish, but his intention was not malicious. The gods sent him to awaken what they believed was sleeping. They did not understand that you were not sleeping. You were holding back the end of all things. Shiva's gaze shifts to Parvati, and for the first time since the third eye opened, something in his expression softens. Not weakness, not surrender, but recognition of a truth he had been avoiding through centuries of meditation. That grief, no matter how divine, cannot be meditated away. That Sati's death was not an ending but a transformation, and here before him stands that transformation made flesh. You speak wisely, daughter of Himavan, Shiva says, and his voice has lost the cosmic reverberation of judgment. It is quieter now, almost human. But wisdom does not erase consequence. Kamadeva disturbed the balance. The third eye opened. What is unmade cannot simply be remade without cost. Then let there be cost, Rati says immediately, rising to her feet, her face streaked with tears that shimmer like liquid starlight. Take my form, take my immortality, take anything, but please restore him, even if he remains bodiless, even if I never touch him again. Let his essence be whole. Let desire exist in the world, even if it exists without shape. The other gods begin to materialize now, no longer content to watch from their distant thrones. Indra appears first, his 1,000 eyes blinking nervously. Then Brahma, His four faces turn toward Shiva in synchronized supplication. Vishnu arrives last, his blue skin glowing with the calm certainty of one who has seen this moment before in a dozen other cycles of creation. Vishnu speaks, and his words carry the weight of preservation, the eternal counterbalance to Shiva's destruction. Brother, the universe requires desire. Without Kamadeva, creation itself will stagnate. Mortals will not love, animals will not mate. The dance of life will slow, then stop. You have demonstrated your power, and none here will forget it. But now, demonstrate your mercy. Shiva closes his two mortal eyes. The moon in his hair brightens slightly, as if responding to some internal shift. The serpent Vasuki, who had retreated during the third eye's opening, slowly winds its way back around Shiva's neck, a sign that the immediate danger has passed. When Shiva opens his eyes again, they are different, still ancient, still unfathomable, but touched now with something the assembled gods had not seen in centuries. Compassion born not from obligation, but from genuine understanding of suffering. Rati, Shiva says, and the goddess of passion looks up, hope and fear warring in her immortal heart. Your love for Kamadeva is pure. It is the kind of love that does not demand, does not manipulate. It simply is. That kind of love, even I, who have transcended attachment, must honor. He raises one hand, fingers curved in the Abhaya Mudra, the gesture of fearlessness and protection. I cannot restore Kamadeva's body. The third eye does not reverse its judgments. To do so would be to unmake the very laws of cosmic justice that hold creation together. But I can offer this. Kamadeva will exist as Ananga, the bodiless one. His essence will permeate all of creation. Every moment of attraction, every stirring of passion, every act of love, these will be his body. He will be everywhere and nowhere, felt but never seen. Rati's face crumples with fresh tears, but these are different. Not tears of pure grief, but of grief mixed with gratitude, the bittersweet acceptance of mercy that comes in unexpected forms. And more, Shiva continues, his gaze shifting to Parvati, and for the first time, something like a smile touches his lips, subtle as the curve of a crescent moon. When the time is right, when my union with Parvati is complete and our son is born, the warrior Kartikeya, who will defeat Tarakasura and restore balance to the heavens, on that day, I will grant Kamadeva a temporary form. He will be embodied once more for a time, so that he may know again what it is to hold his beloved in arms of flesh, rather than essence. Rati falls to her knees, pressing her forehead to the stone at Shiva's feet. Thank you, Mahadeva. Thank you, destroyer who does not destroy all, transformer who shapes even suffering into grace. Brahma, his tension visibly releasing, folds his four hands in gratitude. Indra's 1,000 eyes blink in synchronized relief. Vishnu simply nods, as if this outcome was always written in the cosmic ledger, simply waiting for everyone else to catch up to the script. But Parvati steps closer to Shiva, close enough that she can see the ash on his forehead in intricate detail, close enough that she can feel the residual heat still emanating from where the third eye sleeps. "And what of us, Lord?" she asks softly. "Kamadeva's arrow brought you out of meditation. Will you return to your trance now? Will you seal yourself away again, leaving the world to turn without you?" Shiva looks at her, truly looks at her, for the first time since she began her devotion. He sees Sati in her face, but he also sees Parvati, a soul distinct and whole, patient and powerful in her own right. He sees the daughter of mountains who had stood unflinching while a god was burned to nothingness before her eyes. "No," Shiva says, and the word carries the weight of cosmic decision. The meditation is broken. Perhaps it needed to be. Perhaps even I, who watch the cycles turn, sometimes forget that transformation applies to gods as well as mortals. He extends his hand to Parvati, and when she takes it, the entire universe seems to exhale. The third eye remains closed, but the gods assembled know it will open again. It must. When the time comes for this cycle of creation to end, when the dance of Tandava begins and Shiva moves to dissolve the cosmos back into potential, the third eye will blaze forth once more. But for now, it sleeps, and in its sleeping, there is mercy. The gods depart from Kailash one by one, fading back into their celestial realms like smoke dissolving into clear sky. They carry with them a story that will be whispered in temples and written in scriptures, told by grandmothers to wide-eyed children, contemplated by yogis in mountain caves, the day Kamadeva dared disturb Shiva's meditation, and the universe learned the price of awakening what should remain still. Rati remains for a moment longer, kneeling where her husband once stood. She places her palms flat against the stone, as if she can still feel the warmth of his presence, the echo of his form. Then she rises, and though her face still carries the tracks of divine tears, there is something else there now. Acceptance, perhaps, or the beginning of it. She looks at Shiva and Parvati standing together at the cave's entrance and manages a small, broken smile. "Love takes many forms," she says quietly. "I will learn to love the formless." Then she too fades, returning to her realm, where she will wait through ages for the promise Shiva made. The day when Kamadeva will be embodied once more, even if only briefly, even if only as a gift wrapped in the same cosmic laws that unmade him. Parvati and Shiva remain. The moment stretches between them, heavy with implication. This is not the dramatic union of divine lovers, not yet. There will be time for that, for the marriage that shakes the heavens, for the son who will grow into a warrior god. But this is the beginning, the first recognition, the seed of what will become. "Your third eye," Parvati says, her voice soft but curious. "Does it pain you, holding that much destruction inside yourself?" Shiva considers the question. No one has asked him this before. Gods do not inquire about the burden of godhood. They simply accept it as the price of immortality and power. "It is not pain," he answers slowly. "It is responsibility. Every moment I choose not to open it. Every breath I hold back the dissolution. The third eye does not sleep the way mortals sleep, with dreams and rest. It waits. It knows that one day I will open it not in anger, but in duty, when this universe has run its course and must return to the void to be born again. So, it will open again," Parvati says. Not a question, a statement of cosmic fact. "Yes." Shiva's hand moves unconsciously to his forehead, fingers tracing the 3 lines of ash. "When the Kali Yuga ends, when Dharma collapses and chaos reigns, when creation itself begs for release, I will dance the Tandava, and the third eye will blaze until nothing remains but potential. Then Brahma will dream a new universe, and the cycle will begin again. And until then, I am both the threat and the protection. The fire that can end all things is the same fire that prevents all things from ending prematurely. As long as the eye remains closed, creation continues. As long as I choose restraint, the universe lives." Parvati reaches up slowly, and Shiva does not stop her when her fingertips brush just below the third eye, touching the ash that marks it. The gesture is intimate but not romantic. It is the touch of one cosmic principle acknowledging another. Shakti recognizing Shiva, the divine feminine understanding the divine masculine. "It must be lonely," she whispers, "being the one who holds the end." For the first time in millennia, Shiva's expression cracks, not into a smile, not into sorrow, but into something more honest than either. "Yes," he admits, "it is the loneliest power in all creation." Then perhaps Parvati says, stepping back but not away. You need someone who is not afraid of endings. Someone who understands that destruction is not evil, only necessary. Someone who will stand beside you when the Tandava begins, not fleeing, but dancing. Shiva looks at her with both his mortal eyes, and in that gaze, Parvati sees the answer to questions she has not yet asked, promises that will take lifetimes to fulfill, a love that will be written about until language itself dissolves. Perhaps I do, Shiva agrees, and though the third eye remains closed, though its terrible fire sleeps behind ash and will, there is a warmth to it now, a knowing. The eye has seen Kamadeva unmade, has demonstrated its absolute power, has reminded the cosmos of what dwells in Shiva's forehead. But it has also witnessed mercy. It has seen grief transformed into compassion, law tempered with understanding, destruction making room for creation. The stories say that Shiva and Parvati eventually married, their union celebrated by all the gods who had once schemed to bring them together. They say that their son Kartikeya grew into the warrior the heavens needed, defeating Tarakasura and restoring cosmic balance. They say that Kamadeva was eventually granted his temporary form, and for one beautiful fleeting moment, held Rati in arms of flesh before becoming a Nanga once more. But these stories also say something else, something whispered in the dark by those who understand the deeper truths of mythology. The third eye never truly closes. Oh, it seals itself. Yes, the vertical slit becomes 3 horizontal lines. The fire recedes, the immediate danger passes. But consciousness, once awakened, does not return to unconsciousness. Knowledge once gained cannot be forgotten. The eye that sees through all illusion, that pierces the veil of Maya and perceives reality as it truly is, does not blink. It watches, always. From Kailash, the third eye watches civilizations rise from dust and return to it. It watches kings become beggars and beggars become saints. It watches the righteous fall and the fallen rise. It sees karma's web being woven, thread by thread, action by consequence, cause by effect. And it waits, not with impatience, not with eagerness, but with the certainty of mountains, of oceans, of stars burning through their fuel until only darkness remains. The third eye waits for the moment when creation, exhausted and ready, asks for the mercy of ending. And on that day, that final, inevitable day, Shiva will rise from his meditation one last time. He will begin the Tandava, the cosmic dance of destruction, his feet pounding out the rhythm of dissolution, his drum beating the tempo of entropy. And the third eye will open, not in anger, not in punishment, but in love, the fierce, terrible love of a God who knows that sometimes the greatest act of compassion is to let something end so that something new can begin. Do you feel the weight of it now? The knowledge that somewhere, on a mountain beyond the clouds, in a cave carved by eternity, there sits a God with an eye that could unmake you with a glance, that the only reason you exist, the only reason anything exists, is because Shiva chooses, moment by moment, breath by breath, not to open it. It should terrify you, but perhaps it should also comfort you. Because if Shiva has held back the end for this long, through ages and eons, through the rise and fall of universes you cannot imagine, then perhaps there is purpose in the waiting. Perhaps there is meaning in the restraint. Perhaps the eye closes not because the world is perfect, but because it is still becoming. The third eye of Shiva is not a myth meant to frighten children or impress devotees with displays of divine power. It is a reminder of something deeper, something that echoes through every spiritual tradition that has ever contemplated the nature of existence. That creation and destruction are not opposites, but partners. That the same force which ends the old makes space for the new. That transformation always requires something to be burned away. When yogis meditate on the Ajna chakra, When they visualize the third eye opening in their own consciousness, they are not seeking the power to destroy others. They are seeking the courage to destroy illusion, the false beliefs, the limiting identities, the comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid the terrifying clarity of truth. Shiva's third eye is that clarity made manifest. It is the part of divinity that does not negotiate with ego, that does not compromise with ignorance, that looks at reality without the filters of hope or fear, and sees only what is. And yes, sometimes what is must be burned away. Kamadeva learned this, the gods witnessed it, and somewhere, in meditation caves and temple courtyards, in the quiet moments before sleep and the still hours before dawn, seekers still contemplate the lesson that there are forces in the universe, call them gods, call them laws, call them the fundamental nature of reality itself, that cannot be manipulated, cannot be seduced, cannot be tricked into serving our desires, no matter how pure we believe those desires to be. The third eye sees through everything: intentions, justifications, the elaborate stories we tell ourselves about why we deserve an exception to cosmic law. It sees through all of it, and when it opens, it responds not to what we wish were true, but to what is true. But here is the secret the stories sometimes forget to emphasize. The eye is closed right now, in this moment, in your moment. Shiva sits in meditation, holding back the fire, choosing mercy over judgment, restraint over release. The universe continues not because destruction is impossible, but because the destroyer has decided, today, in this breath, in this eternal present, to let creation dance a little longer. So, what happens when Shiva opens his third eye? The truthful answer: it depends. Are you Kamadeva, disturbing what should not be disturbed? Then you burn. Are you Rati, loving purely enough to move even stone? Then you receive mercy. Are you creation itself, tired and ready for rest? Then you are released back into potential, to dream yourself new again. But the deeper answer, the answer that yogis discover after years of meditation, that mystics glimpse in moments of clarity, that even gods sometimes forget until reminded by fire, is this: the third eye is already open. It has always been open, watching with patience older than time, seeing everything with a clarity that never wavers. What we call opening is simply the moment when that eternal sight turns its full attention toward us, and we are forced to see ourselves as we truly are, stripped of illusion, naked before the gaze of absolute truth. And in that seeing, we either burn like Kamadeva or transform like the universe itself when Shiva finally dances the Tandava. The choice, such as it is simple. Do not disturb the meditation of Mahadeva, or if you must disturb it, be prepared to face what you awaken. If you've journeyed with us through the fire of Shiva's gaze, if you felt the weight of cosmic law and the mercy hidden within destruction, then you've already been touched by the old stories. They don't just entertain, they transform. They hold mirrors to truths older than civilization, reflections of forces that still move through our lives, unseen but undeniable. The third eye may be closed, but it watches, and so do we. If ancient stories still call to you, if you want to walk alongside gods, witness the birth of universes, and understand the myths that shaped humanity, subscribe. The gods remember those who listen, and there are more tales waiting in the shadows. The rage of Kali, the cunning of Loki, the fall of Icarus, the judgment of Anubis. Tap the like button if Shiva's story moved you. Drop a comment telling us which god's third eye you'd fear most, or which mythology we should uncover next. The fire may sleep, but the stories, they burn eternal. We'll see you in the next myth. The gods remember those who listen. More myths await.